Staying on the topic of the Nashville shooting and gun control relating to the discussion about how we address and prevent future tragedies like this one, I have a moment for you where New York Congressman, Democratic Representative Jamaal Bowman, and Republican Representative Thomas Massie get into a heated back and forth about gun control. And Jamaal Bowman is very much correct within this exchange. And then we'll discuss further. Here is that, and you'll hear Chris Hayes setting it up a little bit before the clip gets played.
Bowman wound up in a heated exchange with Kentucky Republican Congressman Thomas Massie, who once posted this picture of his family sitting around their Christmas tree, brandishing assault-style rifles.
They're all cowards. They won't do anything to save the lives of our children at all. Cowards. Pressure them. Force them to respond to the question, why the hell won't you do anything to save America's children? And let them explain that all the way up until election day on 2024. Let them explain it all the way up to election day on 2024. They're freaking cowards. They're gutless. They're not here. I'm talking about gun violence.
You know, there's never been
I'm talking about gun violence.
in a school that allows teachers to carry.
Oh my God. Carry guns? You think more guns lead to more death? More guns lead to more death. Look at the data. You're not looking at any data. You're carrying the water for the gun lobby. Look at the data. More guns lead to more deaths. Good states that have open carry laws have more death. States that have open carry laws have more death. Are you listening to what I'm saying? Calm down. Children are dying. 9-year-old children. Because the solution is not arming teachers. Have you ever worked in a school? 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 It's a yes or no question. Have you ever worked in a school?
Joining me now, David Jamaal.
Yep. And it's 100% accurate. When you loosen the laws, when you saturate the market with more guns, despite their talking point that criminals, no, they'll just get a gun no matter what, we see that increases gun violence. Stricter gun laws in states, we see a trend where they have lower gun violence. Weaker gun laws in states, they have more violence. And as I said in the last segment on today's show, is it really a coincidence, do you think, that the country with way more guns than all the other developed countries and way less regulated has more gun violence? You really think that's just a complete coincidence? Other countries have mental health problems. Other countries have schools that aren't as guarded as a supermax prison. And they don't see the gun violence that we see. That's all just a coincidence to Republicans. And in the case of these mass shootings, so often it's a teenager. And then they still use this talking point. Oh no, gun laws don't matter because a criminal will find a way to get a gun. Then why is it that the last shooter in Nashville got their gun legally? And countless others got their guns legally. And when you think about a 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old, do you think they're really this genius criminal who can find a way to get a gun no matter what? They have this network, a criminal network they can go to. And countless other non-mass shooting criminals who end up enacting gun violence on people. You think all of them are just these super well-connected criminal masterminds that no matter what the laws are, they can get a gun? No, of course not. And even when you see situations where criminals get guns illegally, the reason they were able to get the gun illegally is because of how many guns we have on the legal market that can then spill over and easily be accessed. And so then the response being, well, just more guns need to be at school, is absolutely absurd. And I want to show you, Republicans actually, they're kind of just settling in on a message to gun violence that is more explicit, more clear, more transparent than what they would previously say about gun violence, and it's, nah, we're not going to do anything. Now, they used to say, no, it's because it's about the blank. No, it's because, now they're just fully on board with going, no, we're good. We're good. Gun violence is fine.
I think with respect to any discussion of legislation, it's premature.
I think the things that have already been done have gone about as far as we're going to with gun control.
Can't solve everything with legislation.
Let's not get into politics. All right, let's not get into emotion, because emotion feels good, but emotion doesn't solve problems.
We're not going to fix it. Criminals are going to be criminals.
I think with respect.
And that Tim Burchett clip we looked at yesterday, you can find it on the YouTube channel. That's not out of context. He's saying, I don't think Congress has a role in addressing gun violence. Criminals are going to be criminals. But we don't have to allow them to have guns that are designed, or I should say weapons that are designed, we're talking about guns here, to kill a bunch of people quickly. That's not something that a criminal has to be able to get their hands on. And here's another, by the way, Tim Burchett moment.
I think, they come back to me and say, Burchett, look what your prayers have done for us. And the people doing the praying aren't the ones doing the shooting, ma'am. And it's just a very unfortunate situation. And there's no easy answers. I don't know. Repenting of your sins and having some sort of reform in this country seems to me to be the way we're going to have to turn.
Yes, the reform that we're going to have in this country is in terms of gun control. That's the reform we're going to have in this country, or we need to have. And when he says the people doing the praying aren't doing the shooting, also, the people such as yourself who are saying only do the praying aren't solving the problem of the shooting. Thoughts and prayers are beautiful if they're accompanied by, if they're running parallel to action to actually materially change the reality on the ground. Your job is not to pray for your constituents. You can do that too. Your job is to solve the issues of your constituents. And the way you do that is through legislation. And one of the areas that you could be pushing for legislation in is gun control. But instead it's, I don't know, we just need to hope more it doesn't happen, I guess. And by the way, just a quick update, and then I promise we'll wrap this up for this segment, but this shooter got all these guns legally. If you see this fact and think nothing's wrong with our laws, where a mentally unstable individual can get countless guns and then do something like this, you're just completely backwards.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again for being here. Just a brief update of what we know right now. We've interviewed the parents of Audrey Hale, and we've determined that Audrey bought 7 firearms from 5 different local gun stores here legally. They were legally purchased.
Okay. I'll just stop that there for the sake of time, and people look at that and go, oh, it's fine. I think the Second Amendment means something, they'll say, that it doesn't actually mean, and that's why kids have to keep dying. That's why someone who is severely unstable should be able to get their hands on weapons of war. I don't understand this issue at all. I understand the issue. I don't understand what on earth is going on with people who don't understand the issue, I should say.